And not my hangout is live. My hangout is live. My hangout is live. Oh, live. My hangout is live. My hangout is live. My hangout is live. Oh, yeah. My hangout is live. My hangout is live. My hangout is live. My hangout is live. Doom. Doo 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 doo. All right. I will link this so people know that we will start talking about Durarara episode 8 that took forever to get linked. Not linked. Took forever to get subbed. Let me see. Put this on Facebook real quick. All right. Post this. Now we're going to start talking as soon as I make sure there are people in the chat, because I don't think I have any viewers as of right now. And I want to, well, I guess I could just go ahead and start it and just have people jump in as I go. So, Durarara X2 Shou, episode 8 review. Holy shit. I literally just finished watching the episode. The episode took like an hour. About an hour after they said it was going to be subbed to start subbing it. So we waited like an extra hour to do so. So I watched it at 1, finished it like 3 minutes ago, and then just cut on the stream. So this is the first time I'm actually saying anything about it. See, for those who don't know, I have a tendency to like talk about, I have a tendency to kind of talk about what I want to talk about the episode before I do the review. Here it's just straight bangers. We're just going to go through it. So we have now hit the game changer. And I don't know why I didn't think about this before. So Aoba's group is the group that started this shit, which was intentionally done, not even for the sake of what he says it was for. He started this shit just so he can corner Mikado into a bad situation. Although I still don't understand how Celti knows why Celti is there in the first place. I'm pretty sure that'll be explained next episode. Also, because it's like, okay, so apparently Celti dropped Henri off at Shinra's and then left again, but didn't really give any context of where she was going. And she wasn't following Verona and Sloan because Sloan and Verona know where Celti is. Also, side note, why does everybody think that Celti is a guy? Like, you can look at her figure and go, yeah, that's definitely a woman. Everyone, Aoba calls her a guy. Verona still calls her a guy. Celti does not look like a guy. Like, physical appearance, just body shape, she doesn't look like a guy. Why does everyone think she's a guy? It's weird. I don't get it. It's obvious it's a girl. But now Isaiah, I guess, is doing some shit. I don't know where Isaiah's in-game is, because Isaiah hasn't really had anything specifically to do. So why would he go out of his way to frame Shizuo? Actually, because that was the end game of this. It had nothing to do with Akane. Apparently, Akane is in a position where she thinks that Shizuo was going to kill her because Isaiah told her that. But why would Isaiah's an information broker? So I'm not surprised Isaiah would know these things. But I'm questioning, why would Isaiah all of a sudden want to get Shizuo put away? Which I don't even think that's because of it. I think that's literally just to get him out of the way. I feel like what's about to go down, he wants Shizuo out of the way because Shizuo will be a problem for him. As much as he can kind of outmaneuver and outwit Shizuo's still kind of a bitch to deal with as an overall thing, which is probably why he does what he does here. But Aoba and him are fighting on two different wavelengths because Aoba innately wants to get rid of Isaiah. So it's not like they were working together on this. These were just two separate events that don't serve to do anything but put each of the characters and put all the dollars in a hole. Aoba obviously did all this to coerce Mikado into a position where he couldn't say no. So, because the way Aoba acts is as if there's some type of end game, as if there was something that he's just fighting arbitrarily. But and Mikado hasn't realized that he did that for you. Like he's intentionally, because why would he even force you into a position of being the leader? Like, because he's trying to coerce you to do something. And I think it's just to cause havoc, but I feel like there would be more of a reasoning than that. But I don't really understand I don't know Aoba's backstory, so it's kind of hard to understand what Aoba's end goal is. Because it's obvious right now he's trying to get Mikado to cause some shit, which I don't understand why specifically you need Mikado to do this. I mean, or I guess it's because he's in the power. He's in a position of power. It's like Mikado's the leader of the dollar, so it's like, well, if we can get the dollar's leader coerced and to fall into our plan, that's two gangs you have control over. You have, and that also brings up the question, why doesn't? But then again, Aoba technically you would argue is the leader of both operations. He's gonna say he wants Mikado to be the leader, but really what he's using Mikado as a figurehead to further his own ideals. Which I guess he does that so when shit goes down, he's not the one who gets thrown under the bus. I guess that's what it is. Also because he senses the darkness in Mikado, and which was really apparent by the end of this episode, that even in the worst situation where it's like, because Aoba gives him the ultimatum, it's like, well, you can either tell us to give up and get our asses kicked, or you can tell us to fight. We'll do whatever. And he's like, I can't do either of those things because that's the kind of person he is. And then Aoba mentions, but you're smiling right now. Mikado's the type of dude who gets off on excitement. That's kind of been expressively mentioned now like 3 times, and he's kind of proven it twice. Or either that, or he's, see, and it's hard for me to tell if when we see Mikado smile, is that him genuinely smiling, or is that the perception that they give in the viewer? Because I feel like that might be what it is. Because if you see him, like I saw the preview for the next episode, Mikado's still super apprehensive. So it's not like I feel either that or it's something he's not aware that he's into. Like he has a subconscious thing for danger and excitement because he's tired of his boring ass life. I don't think Mikado inherently wants to do bad things. I just think he has a bad quirk of, because I mean, even when you think about every event that's happened so far, he didn't intentionally go out of his way to start. He might get off on the excitement, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he intentionally wants to cause these issues just for him to get his rocks off. Because as I said, I don't think he's consciously aware that he's getting his rocks off from this shit. Unfortunately, Aoba's putting him into a position because you can already see what's going to happen next. Shikage has located the dollars. Aoba has led Mikado here to intentionally put him in this position. So now you're not only making him face the reality of that he has a thing for danger, and he likes the thrill of it all, but you're also going to put him in that position right next to the same position in which now his life and the life of other fellow dollar members are being threatened. And Isaiah already pushing him to that extent makes you think, well, Isaiah and Aoba are trying to get him to do the same damn thing. Well, why would that be the issue unless, and Aoba obviously isn't even working off of Isaiah. Aoba doesn't know too much on his own. I mean, that's why it was mentioned. That's why he was surprised about the Yellow Scars incident, because that's not what he knows. He doesn't know anything about the Yellow Scars incident. So I'm assuming Isaiah knows about Aoba, and Isaiah is probably using Aoba to push Mikado into a position that he wants. Because Isaiah's end goal is probably still the same. He still wants to create that same chaos that he didn't get to create in the first season, which is having all 3 gangs change and, fight each other and cause some type of riot, because he's thinking Salty's head will awaken. Well, what's the point of doing that unless... So that's his end goal. That's Isaiah's end goal. Everything he's doing at this point is trying to get to the end goal. He's just going about it in a different way. He's letting everything set itself up and having Aoba do his dirty work for him. That's kind of what it is. And I don't think Aoba realizes this, because from what I heard, Aoba's known as a kind of a mini Isaiah, meaning he's probably as disturbing and cunning, but he's not as good as the original Isaiah. So Isaiah is probably using Aoba without Aoba even knowing it, even knowing that Aoba probably wants to get rid of Isaiah, which probably has something to do with the blue scars in Isaiah back then. So our current situation is Shizuo has been framed, which was Isaiah's doing to get him out of the way. Aoba has now put Mikado into a situation that's going to force him to be the kind of character that he may not have intentionally wanted to be. Because like at the end of this, I can already tell Mikado's going to go to the dark side, but it's going to be because of the pretenses of how it was set up. Aoba's going to break him. That's what is going to happen. He's going to break him, make him kind of jerk into one direction, and he's going to just cause all sorts of havoc. He's going to lose his shit, and he's going to become that leader of the Blue Squares, and he's going to fucking run around being a reckless motherfucker. But he'll probably do it the way I think he's going to do it. He's probably going to do it with good intentions, which means all that really means is that for the next few arcs, and probably up until the end of the series, he's going to spend the rest of the time fighting Chikage and anyone else who comes into contact will probably be the Yakuza at some point. And he's going to spend the rest of that fighting them while battling with his internal struggle, because he'll probably justify it under some bullshit pretense of he's going to try to protect his friends and shit. Which sucks, because I feel like Mikado probably won't get redeemed. Like, this is, from what I've been reading in the comments, this will be when Mikado gets super badass, but like he's pretty much going to lose himself throughout the entire goddamn situation. And at the end of it, hopefully, he will be redeemed in some way. Really just depends. And as we know, Henri doesn't know anything about this. And she probably won't until later. Because, so the only question we don't know from this episode is what the hell Celti is doing there. Why Celti would be there in the first place. And then I guess we could also talk about Kodaka and Chikage's interesting meeting, which really did nothing but to kind of just serve as extra setup. It's like you had the Shizuo shit going on, you had the Akane slash Shizuo shit going on, you had the Kodaka Chikage stuff, and then you had Oba Mikado. Well, all Chikage, Kodaka, Shizuo, Akane, Izaya, all that does is just lead into Aoba and Mikado. Also, you have Masaomi in the background, which is just reiterating what we already know. When you're only talking to your friends online, you don't notice how much shit is actually changing. So Masaomi will probably not be aware of any of this shit until way late game. Like probably in the last section of this season. So like this first half will be Mikado's rise to power. The middle half will be some shit going on in between, which will probably be set up for the final act. And then the final act will be the last half, in which I would assume Masaomi will truly start getting involved. I don't think he might start getting involved in the middle of the part that comes out in the summer, I think. Yeah, the one that comes out in the summer. But like Masaomi probably won't get involved until the end of the game. And we still have to deal with Verona and Sloan, whose goals right now is to kidnap / torture Henri and to kill Akane, I believe. Yeah. So that is a lot of shit, and we're only on episode 8, so we got 4 more episodes to go. Masaomi, it doesn't look truly evil in the previews for next week, so my assumption is that he probably won't get to that point until probably either the end of next week or someone like near the end of this season. He's gonna go because he's already showing signs of breaking. And when you corner a rat like that and they don't have anywhere to go, they're just gonna fucking lash out. But let me see if I have any comments, because it says I have 5 viewers. But yeah, this can only go as well as this is gonna go ridiculous. Shit has officially started going down. It says I have 5 viewers, but I don't see any comments on the video. Unless I need to go. Let me see. Because it's obviously streaming now, but I wanted to see if there was any comments. Which there may not be. Yeah, I don't think there's any comments, but for right now, shit has officially hit the fan, and at this point, we're just hoping to God that, God damn. Oh, what if Celti's tracking the motorcycle? If Celti's tracking the motorcycle, oh, I see. So she spent all night doing that? Because they both ended up in the same place. Like, and Verona got there before Celti got there. Or is it that Celti got distracted because she saw the guys and then she saw Mikado with the guys? Is that what it is? That Celti came there for Verona but got distracted because she saw Mikado. At least that's maybe that. I guess that technically would make more sense because I'm not sure how the hell else. Why? Because the way the episode set it up made me think that Celti had came there to deal with the Chikage situation, which she knows nothing about. I mean, hell, we still have to deal with the Yggdrasil situation, which I probably am guessing is part of the which will probably be part of the second part that happens in the summer. Because this will end at episode 12. Thank you, Animata. Oh, okay, I see. Okay, I get it. So it's an ambush. But Celti got distracted while looking at Mikado and them. I actually have a slight feeling that the rest of these next 4 episodes might take place in the same place. Well, yeah, which means Celti will be the first one to witness the fall. I wouldn't even say it's the fall as much so as a transformation, because I don't think Mikado's going to necessarily fall. Fall would imply that he was at a place of grace before. If anything, he was in a place of neutrality. And that's what kind of sucks, because as I said before, it's not like, I don't think Mikado inherently wanted to start shit with people, but he's the type of guy who gets his rocks off from being in danger. Like, he's not aware of it, but he likes the whole feeling of being in danger and having shit go down. I mean, that's the reason why he moved to Ikebukuro in the first place, because that's what he wants to do. He wanted some excitement in his life, and he probably that's why he has no intention of destroying the dollars. What he's probably going to do is use the blue squares as a means to kind of not ruin the dollars. But unfortunately, having the dollars being attacked everywhere puts him in a position of, well, you kind of have to leave the blue squares to fix the dollars, which then puts you in the position of now you are a gang leader, and now you have to start thinking like a gang leader. I don't know, which would make more sense why I saw that as a spoiler, that he would become the leader of the blue squares. Because I was like, well, why would he do that if he already has the dollars? And it's like, well, obviously because you ruin the mantra of the dollars if you do that. He wants to be that comic book hero. Like, is that actually a quirk of his, or are you just making a joke? Because I'm curious to see if that actually is a thing of his. Because I'm curious to see what his mindset is going to be when he goes through all this shit. Because it's not, I mean, obviously it's going to be to fix the dollars, but is he really going to be, is he going to do that fucking, I'll become the villain to become the hero? Like, he's going to be like one of those anti-heroes? Is that what he's going to be trying to do? To be the villain so he can become the hero? Or will he even look at it that way? Actually, he probably will view himself as a villain, because as of right now, we still haven't seen any internal monologue about him even acknowledging the fact that he has a thing for danger. Which is all he is. That's all Mikado is, a thrill seeker. But putting him into a position to where he has to make a choice in being a thrill seeker is going to fuck him up. Like a quirk that he isn't even that fully aware of. I don't know. I don't think he's fully aware of how much he likes the thrill of it all. And obviously he doesn't like it that much. He doesn't like it as much to where it's influencing his decisions, to where he's like putting his friends in danger. But it's kind of a consequence that every decision he's made so far puts him in those positions anyway. So he just enjoys himself while he's in the position. I don't know. You see, when I think back to the first season, he didn't really do anything to give off the hint that he might have this problem, except for making the dollars. That was literally the only thing he did. Everything else, from our perspective, just seemed like he was protecting his friends. But I hope they don't do that shit in the flat where they like have him go back and it's like, well, when I think about it, everything I chose to do in Ikebukuro so far has to put myself in the harm's way. And maybe I was just using protecting my friends as a justification. I hope he doesn't do that, because then it just kind of undermines his character. It's like, so his entire character is actually a thrill seeker who just happens to want to do the good thing at the same time, because then it just makes it seem like it's something out of consequence. I really like how Aoba and his Blue Square partner / friend shown. Well, no, they're not intimidating. It's weird. That's why I don't understand. It's like they're trying to force. Aoba's trying to seem threatening, but then he said, but as soon as you corner him, what's the first thing you ask him to do? Become our leader. I'm like, Aoba, that's not really threatening. If anything, that's just kind of weird. It makes it sound like you have a weird hard-on for him. It's like, what the fuck are you aiming? What are you aiming at? What is the point? I don't get it. Oh. But maybe that's what it is. I don't get it. I don't question it. I don't question it. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about while I'm on here? Because I've kind of gone through everything. Izaya set up Shizuo. Aoba setting up Mikado. And Verona and Sloan and Salty are just kind of a separate thing that's going on, but will get intertwined after a while. Which is going to be kind of a bitch, because I don't really want to, because that means Salty's going to see him fall. Even though in this situation, I don't understand what Aoba's trying to do. I mean, it's going to end with just straight violence. It's not like Mikado has any type of physical skills. If anything, he's going to be like a mafia boss, which really doesn't make any sense. Like, having Mikado be in this position doesn't really do, like, I don't, maybe that's what's bothering me. I don't get it. Oh, Fo Jason's always fucking crazy. I've just come to expect that. But, like, I don't understand, even if Mikado becomes this boss, Mikado isn't known for being strategic or maniacal. Like, none of his qualities, there's nothing special about Mikado to justify him being a boss, or for Aoba to gain anything from being a boss, unless Aoba already knows that Izaya is using Mikado to start some shit. But Aoba probably doesn't know why. Well, actually, I thought that was weird, to be perfectly honest, because I also thought it was kind of weird that Shizuo, for some reason, was violent enough, is so strong to the point where he can break the door, and he's so pissed off that he could break the door down, and then chooses not to break the door down. To me, that just come off inconsistent, like that was just convenient. Oh, well, Shizuo all of a sudden can't break the door down, so I guess he's just gonna run downstairs. I mean, you could see this maturing, but it doesn't make any sense, because he's still mad and he still wants to get his hands on Izaya. So it's like, so you're not as angry, so you're not as violent to where you would destroy a building to get to Izaya, but you still want to get to Izaya and beat the shit out of him. Or at this point, is it just Shizuo maturing and not mentally being aware that he's maturing? Is that what he is? He's not aware of it, so he still feels the same way, but his actions aren't matching up with his mind anymore. So he's not taking it to the extent he should be taking it to, which just makes him seem inconsistent, if anything. Because I think everybody who saw him try to break down the door, I was just like, well, that doesn't make any sense. Why didn't he just break down the door? Why is he, like, you see the blood on his finger. So, like, you're so mad that you can like, fucking make your fingers bleed by banging on the goddamn doorbell and shit, which is another weird thing. You're ringing the doorbell. Why didn't you just knock on the door? Why are you ringing the doorbell? It's like, so man. Oh, is that what it is? Well, not many people die in Durarara. Well, people die in Durarara, but it's never anyone important. Like, if you've noticed, no important character has died, I don't believe. No important character has died in Durarara, so I don't think it's so much of... Actually, Durarara is weird with its deaths, because from what I have seen of Bakano is really fucking gory. And it's not like Durarara isn't gory in its own right, but Durarara is like weird with its gore. Like it has no problem showing people getting killed and getting murdered, but it's never anyone important. So you kind of have that same vibe of, okay, they won't kill any main characters. Because as of right now, they haven't killed any new character they've introduced. If anything, they've only, like, and the only characters you see get killed are like one-off characters or characters who weren't important in the first place. But no, like, main serious character has gotten killed yet. No one. Which I don't know if that's intentional or not. I actually feel like that's probably what's going to kind of nerf the threateningness of Boss Mikado, because he won't kill anyone specifically. He probably won't even kill. Well, he might kill somebody. I doubt he will though. But he probably won't even kill anyone interesting. Like he probably won't kill a main character. He'll probably kill maybe a side character. But like that's the thing about, and that's the thing. I don't think Durarara hasn't killed main players, so maybe that's what it is. See, it's kind of weird. There are different ways of handling death in anime, and the way Durarara handles it, it kind of is the way One Piece handles it, except not as extreme. Durarara has no problem showing death. Durarara just never shows deaths of characters who are important, which is what One Piece does, except One Piece makes every character important. Therefore, you never see anyone real die, like even the villains. So, yeah. And I think it's because they have the same mindset of, well, we're going to use them later anyway, so we're not going to kill them just yet. But we can already tell. As a whole, I probably like Durarara a little bit more than the Monogatari series, particularly because the Monogatari series is a completely different genre. Monogatari is like a psychological harem. That's the way I kind of look at I look at Monogatari. Monogatari is like a psychological harem that breaks out of the harem mode halfway through its damn run. So, and besides, my favorite season of Monogatari is still the first one. Whereas Durarara season 2, even with this dark shit going on in the background, because remember, it wasn't like the first season was light. Like the first season was dark almost the entire way. Like other than the first half of it, like the other 2/3 of Durarara season 1 were relatively dark because you were dealing with the Psycha shit and you were dealing with Kita's issues, which were all. But then again, even those episodes had funny comedy moments, and I mean, for God's sakes, the whole fucking Omri running around in the suit thing was fucking. That shit was ridiculous. And then when you look at this season obviously is not as. Also, here's a quick question, because I thought this first arc would have more to do with Izaya's sisters. Are they just not important anymore, or was it just because the arc they were introduced in was important? Because it's like the Igor shit finished, and they've literally been relatively irrelevant for like the last, I would say, 2 episodes. And then you even bring up the kissing Aoba thing, and I'm like, well, what's the point of that? Like, what's going on? Why even throw that in there? But then again, they'll probably use Aoba as like a well, we gotta learn Aoba's backstory before I say anything about Aoba. Well, that's kind of what Izaya is. Izaya is Durarara's Joker. It's like he is the anime Joker. Like a lot of his lines are hilarious. Like the thing about him loving humans and shit. Like that's who the fuck even says that? Like that line doesn't even make sense in context. It's like, who walks around saying I like humans? Like that you're just asking for trouble at that point, or you're showing that you're fucking insane. It's probably you showing you're fucking insane though, because that one seems closer to what it's actually going for. But really, that's all I have to really talk about. And I don't want to make these reviews too long because people want to watch these on the playback, and no one wants to sit through 30 minutes of uninteresting dialogue. So if there's like one more question or one more thing you want to talk about real quick, you can. If not, you guys can check out the playback for the other interesting things I was talking about in the beginning that some of you may have missed. And as I said, do you guys prefer this, or would you rather me do the pre-recording? As I said, I can get it out as early as the episode is in English. After I watch it, I can literally jump on this shit. So do you guys prefer this or the other style? But yeah, let's see if there's like one more question. Oh yeah, true. Well, yeah, that's the other thing about Durarara I always enjoyed is that Durarara, oh they, oh they are a little, oh they are secondary characters. But yeah, that's the only thing I like about that's the one thing I do like about Durarara. Durarara doesn't have like a real main character. I mean, you would argue the main characters are Henri, Mikado, and Masaomi, but even when you look at it right now, who's the? To me, it feels more like Celti than anything. The second season has consistently focused on Celti than ever in any one other character. Celti has been consistent in like every fucking episode. So I'm surprised, which is weird because she wasn't even really focused on until like the second half, until like the second to later half of season one. Like she was in the beginning half, but it was really just setting her up as a character, and then having the Masaomi Seiji, what's her name, Saki? Yeah, Saki stuff. And then like after that, she kind of became more relevant as the series went on. And then season two, Celti has been consistently focused on, which makes me feel like the head subplot is going to come back because I don't think Izaya has abandoned that. I think Izaya is just bored, but I feel like we need to see more Izaya get his ass whooped. Because Simon showed a little bit of it, and we already know Omri doesn't trust him. But I need to see him get his shit out. So you do like the live streams, okay? Well, what I'll do because I actually scheduled this one like in Thursday. I wanted to have it like a good in advance so people could like know it was coming. But if you want me to like stream it lower like at a later time, let me know. But I figured getting out as soon as I could it would be better. Oh, so Celti is the main character. Well, that makes sense. Because I figured she was the way she was focused on making me think that she was the main character. But it's kind of hard to tell because Durarara didn't originally have a point to it. I mean, season two has begun to have its point. Because I mean, if you want to argue, season one was Celti coming to terms with not needing her head anymore. And then season two is her coming. Well, I'm not totally sure what Celti's thing for season two is. I would say Celti's thing for season two seems to be whether or not if she's going to be fully committed to Shinra, because it's even mentioned that she doesn't have to take these jobs, which then brings up the question. And I really want to see if this is a plot point. If Celti might have a similar problem to Mikado, to where, well, actually, I think Celti's might be two different things. I think either the Celti has the same problem as Mikado, where she kind of gets off on the thrill of everything, or Celti hasn't truly let her head go. No pun intended. And I'm thinking one of them will probably be, I'm thinking either one or both will be explored. I kind of hope it's the first one, just so a correlation with Mikado, I feel like would be interesting, because if Celti's the main character, which would explain why she's probably the most likable character in the series. Like, I think everybody likes Celti. Everyone likes Celti, and I think everyone likes like Izaya and Shizuo. Even though you have literally no reason to like. Well, Shizuo you can like because of his ridiculousness. Izaya is just kind of an asshole, which is why people like him. But people mentioned it was like Celti's still around? Why? And that's my thing. It's like, is Celti just gonna I don't know how the original Durarara ended, so I don't know what the plot is currently. But if you've made a new trio but Celti's still around, is it because Celti's the trigger for everything? Which she kind of has felt like that for season two. She's felt like she's been the trigger for a lot of this shit. But I'm just trying to figure out why Celti is a weird main character. I'll say that then, because the way they throw her around doesn't make her feel like a main character. Because most people say the real main characters of Durarara should be Shizuo, Celti, and Izaya. Which, in a sense, I feel like the way Durarara works, you could literally make almost any character a main character, in a sense. But I think it would probably be between those six. It'd be either Celti, Mikado, Henri, Masaomi, Izaya, or Shizuo. I don't know. But it is fun and interesting to think about. But as I said, I don't want to make this too long. So thank you guys for watching. This should pop back up within like the next 30 minutes. So for anyone who missed it, they can rewatch it. And we look forward to episode 9, in which we will start witnessing the fall or the break of everything. Yes, because Celty is the main character. Anyways, this has been the Insane Game Freak. Life's a game, play to win. And I'll catch you guys later. I actually do hope we get to see more Shizuo and his Amoto talk. But then again, we need more Yuhei anyway, because we need to see how he gets it in with Ruri. Anyways, catch you guys next week. Peace.